Well, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Good afternoon. Whatever the case may be, wherever you are in this bright, beautiful world. This is Cross Examinations. I'm your host, Mike S. Miller. Sorry, I'm really late today. Do I have excuses? Why, you bet I do. But they're of no value to you. So, anyways, hope everyone is doing well. Let me refresh my page so I can get my... so slow. I'm so dragging. I should probably just go chug a gallon of coffee because I took a nap. I got home from lunch. So full. Took a nap. Ben, I blame you. I blame Ben. All right. What's up, March Hair? What is up? Rather not say. Skyline. David, and a new disguise. Meep meep. Cough cough. Yeah, sorry. This is a very late episode. It is what it is, unfortunately. So I'm trying to close out all this other stuff on my computer. Maybe I should just minimize that. Things have been kind of hectic the past couple days, so, you know, hey, doing what I can. Please, as you come in, do like, do subscribe. How many interruptions tonight, David? I am praying for a limited number of interruptions, but I can make no guarantees. I can make none. Is that Darth? Oh, you want to see my shirt? Yeah, it is. Japan Darth Vader Star Wars. Sammy Ree for $2 says, "Oh no, did you find a Darwin Cook thumbnail?" No, I did not. Gotta run. All right, Seven Strings. Thanks for popping in, popping out. Nyotsu says, "Darwin never died." Welcome to Interruption Hour. I know. Guys, come on. You don't have to give me so much crap for anything. Let's just say today's episode was so interrupted that it's this late. Man, my throat. I was up talking all night last night. Well, I was on Ethan's show. talking, my throat. March Hare says, "If I could, can I ask you if you and anyone in the chat say a prayer for my family member who's going through a hard time?" Yeah. Lord God, all of us here in the chat today, we join together as the body. The Dark Admiral March Hare's family member, who shall not be named, but you know who it is, who's going through a difficult time, Father, and whatever it is they need, Lord, right now, please provide for them, guide them, comfort them, give them clear thinking and eternal thinking, Lord, to know that what is expedient is not always what is right, and that sometimes rain falls on all of us. So, but it's always for your good. We ask these things in your Son's holy name. Amen. All right. Please like, share. Let's get some people in the room. I could probably do the Facebook thing. Is it silly? I'm just a little tired. So, Darwin's Book of Lies, full name is The Origin of Species and the Preservation of the Favorited Races. Is it really? Or is that a mistake? Dragon, how's everyone doing? Everyone is good. Man, my hands feel dirty. I don't know how Doug does it. My hands feel a little bit dirty, and it kind of just drives me nuts. All right, let me go to yesterday's chat and see. So are we talking about some ID stuff or what? We'll get to that. Let's go through yesterday's commentary. Let us do that first. Mike D says, "I'll pray for you, Mike S. Miller," which I appreciate. David Peterson says, "You survived a barrage of interruptions. Yay. Was that insane? Or was it just me? A bit off subject, but just saw Gosnell with my parents yesterday. That is a hard movie to watch. Man, does it really strike a chord. I'm not a fan of abortion, period. But anyone who believes in third trimester abortions needs to give that movie a watch. Yeah, I think that's an overall problem with ignorance in our society, that people are led to believe, you know, oh, it's a lump of cells, it's not alive, it's not a human. It's all these lies about murdering unborn human beings. They're all lies. They're all lies. And I think the more we educate, particularly young women, to the truth, the lower abortion rates will fall. Why is my phone continuously buzzing? What's going on here? I do apologize. 6:38. Oh, somebody trying to talk to me on Twitter. Probably do. I invited. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. All right, all right. Nathan Rosario says, I had my eye on this collectible on eBay, but I think these kids need a place to live more than I need Star Wars junk cluttering up my apartment. So I donated 30 pounds, which converts to about $41 US. I wish I could donate more, but I need to make sure that I can cover my bills for the rest of the month. If Martin Luther, and thank you, Nathan, and thank you to everyone who did donate yesterday to the orphanage. Those kids do appreciate it. So, salute. Sorry, my voice is like If Martin Luther regretted anything on his deathbed, then it was probably the division he caused in the church. I don't think he ever intended to split off from the Catholic Church, and was instead hoping to reform it from the inside. Yeah, that was his intention. He wanted to fix it. He didn't want to break it. If he knew ahead of time that his actions would lead to all of the Protestant denominations that we have today, do you think he would consider nailing the 95 Theses to the door of the Wittenberg Castle Church? No. No, I don't think so. Because, again, you know, at the time, the only people who were allowed to read the Bible were church leaders and monks. And the Reformation of the church led to the the translations of the Bible into common tongue instead of Latin or Greek. Latin primarily for the Catholic Church. And so it allowed the word to get to the people in a way that the Catholic Church had no patience for, because, as I said before, and as you can read in Fox's Book of Martyrs, they would execute people for having a Bible or for reading a Bible. But because of what Martin Luther did, granted, he's not a perfect man, there's no such thing, but because of what he did, today people can have personal relationships with Christ, knowing his word and his will through the objective truth of the word. Kathy Stark says, Mike, Amazon has dropped a documentary stating Jesus was Greek and not Jewish. Have you had a chance to view this? And if so, what's your take on it? I haven't had a chance to view it. On the face of it, that sounds completely stupid. He was... Where would they even get this? I've read all of the ancient, Pliny the Younger, Tacitus, Caesar, the Talmud, the Josephus. I've read every ancient account of Christ. Obviously, I've read the New Testament numerous times. No, this is someone pulling something right out of their back hole, man. That's garbage. I don't know. It might be an interesting, it's whatever they're doing, that has no basis in any historical documentation known about Christ. So it's just someone just throwing darts Somebody throwing darts. You know how they do like to do that to our faith. So, Beowulf says, amen. Thank you all. We've raised over 800 pounds since Mike started. Oops, that disappeared. Promoting the GoFundMe. Yeah, I should put that link up there. Shoot. Let me find the link. Sorry, I rebooted my whole system's going into reboot. If you go to my profile, and it is my pinned tweet on my Twitter profile. So, but let me grab the link anyways. And again, I apologize about my voice. And I'm going to drop this one more time. The orphans, the poor little orphans who need a place to stay. The link is now in the description. Also, in the description, the Back Meg SIXGUN Samurai Deal with the Devil link to my Indiegogo. Or as Art says, Indiegogo. Indiegogo. Indigo. Indigo. Go. It's Indiegogo. But he says it really weird. At any rate. Where is my... Here we go. Let's get to the topic of the day. What's up, Max? Max! Hey, Max. Max. Hey, Max. Screen share. Oops, screen share. Let's try that again. Let me see if I can hit the right button this time. All right. From ChristianHeadlines.com. Where's my... Can you guys even hear me? I assume you can hear me. Hey, where's my microphone? Why do you have my microphone? All right, apologize for the audio. My son took my microphone. 1,000 scientists sign statement dissenting from Darwinism. A list of scientists who are skeptical about the claims of Darwinism has grown to more than 1,000. The list from Discovery Institute was first issued in 2001 as a way to show that credible scientists do doubt the popular theory behind the development of life. The statement reads, "We are skeptical of claims for the ability of random mutation and natural selection to account for the complexity of life. Careful examination of the evidence for Darwinian theory should be encouraged. It is known as a scientific dissent from Darwinism." Among the scientists who signed it were evolutionary biologist and author Stanley Salf, quantum chemist Henry Schaefer from the University of Georgia, Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, embryologist Lev Belousov, and American Association for the Advancements of Science fellow Lyle Jensen, now deceased. Roughly 100 scientists were on the original list in 2001, but it has since passed 1,000 signatures. Supporters say the statement has no political motivation. Quote, "It is a professional statement by scientists about their assessment of the scientific evidence relating to neo-Darwinism and an affirmation of the need for careful examination of the evidence for modern Darwinian theory." The website houses the statement reads. The statement is receiving attention as supporters of Darwinian evolution celebrate Darwin Day, which takes place every February 12th on Charles Darwin's birthday. He was born 210 years ago in 1809. To sign the list, a person must hold a PhD in scientific fields such as biology, chemistry, mathematics, engineering, computer science, or one of the other natural sciences. Or they must hold an MD and serve as a professor of medicine, according to the FAQ section at dissentfromdarwin.org. The statement is needed, supporters say, because some supporters of Darwinism have tried to silence opponents of the theory. You think? In recent years, there has been a concerted effort on the part of some supporters of modern Darwinian theory, to deny the existence of scientific critics of neo-Darwinism, and to discourage open discussion of the scientific evidence for and against neo-Darwinism. The dissent from Darwin.org website reads, "The scientific dissent from Darwinism statement, it exists to correct the public record by showing that there are scientists who support an open examination of the evidence relating to modern Darwinian theory and who question whether neo-Darwinism can satisfactorily explain the complexity and diversity of the natural world." So, that is that. Darwin is dead. This is a statement of fact. Darwin is indeed dead. And he's not coming back. Let's see what you guys have to say about all this. Science isn't a consensus, says Exact Change Only. The only thing that matters is the truth. I think these guys are rejecting Darwinian theory because it's linked to Nazism or some crap. I think they were saying that they were questioning the theory based on evidence, not based on politics. In fact, that was quite clear. They were not doing it based on politics. Swine Dog says, "Hey Mike, can you recommend any other Christian YouTube channels that you watch regularly and find helpful?" I don't watch channels. I will seek out particular people that or pastors or teachers that I like. I like listening to Chuck Missler. I haven't listened to him in a while, but Chuck Missler or Francis Chan. That may lead. You're listening to that stuff that leads to other stuff, and I enjoy debates and whatnot. So yeah, Darwin was a noob. David Peterson, anyone who persecutes another scientist into believing something isn't acting like a scientist. And that's a huge problem. And that's a problem you hear in these arguments all the flipping time. The evidence is in. Darwinism is a fact, right? There are no facts in science. Science is the search for truth. It is not the dogmatic assertion of beliefs, right? So if you're not open to looking at evidence for and against a presupposition position, then that's not science. That's being religious. That is closed-minded, dogmatic thing. Sorry, any chance you can go make me some coffee?
$10.
Coffee. If you drink more coffee, it makes it worse.
Christopher Nicholas, I should have read the title. I'm out, I guess. Okay, well, that too is closed-minded thinking. One should always have an open mind and be ready to be, proven right or proven wrong, convinced, or don't be so dogmatic about everything that you're incapable of looking at things objectively. I know, he's a good kitty. Look at him. Oh.
What is that?
Of course. Who's calling? Survey call. Turn it up. Can you just turn the ringer off? Push down on the big square button twice.
40K stretch goal make up this game.
Oh,
He's pretty. He's. Oh my gosh! What the heck?
I turned it off.
The president calling.
Turn it off.
Guessing me recommending Christopher Hitchens would not go over well, says A New Disguise. No, I love listening to Christopher Hitchens. I disagree with him, but I again, you have to be willing to listen to people with whom you disagree. Don't live in an echo chamber.
Don't be an ignoramus.
Don't be an ignoramus, this one says. Yeah, no, Christopher Hitchens, especially, but listen to people who are honest about the way they think, right? Not people who are just sit there to assert dogmatic things and insult you for not agreeing with them, right? You can completely disagree with somebody and be completely polite and human about it. You know, you don't have to try to tear down people for disagreeing with you. That's not what good people do. And although Christopher Hitchens has done that, I still think he was a great thinker, extraordinarily intelligent guy. I think he was wrong, but some of his debates with Dinesh D'Souza are some of my favorite things to watch. And those two are like the best of friends, right? Completely in disagreement about religion and atheism, evolution and creation, all that stuff. But fantastic dialogues. Not even, debates, dialogues, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, I have feel free to recommend people like Christopher Hitchens. Thank you, Nasser, for pimping my comic book. Withheld, rather not say. I can say as an atheist, they think they're smarter than religious people. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and that's always their go-to. Oh, you disagree with me. Well, clearly you're stupid. Yeah, that's the case. Because all those PhDs that signed that document, I'm sure they're all stupid. That's how they got their PhDs. Why do so many atheists look down on people who believe in a God? I hope I'm wrong about that, but most of what I see is them saying they're superior to everyone else. Well, I don't want to broad brush atheists like that. There are plenty of atheists who don't think like that. I think it's the closed-minded and arrogant who do think like that. And I run into them all the time. They tend to be the more vocal ones, but I've got lots of atheist friends who don't think like that. I wish they all didn't think like that. I wish they all thought like I did. But hey, what a world that would be. Yeah, that's Bill Maher's shtick about being blatantly atheist. He's terribly pretentious, says Kevin Chan. I couldn't disagree with you.
That's right.
Aww. In 30 seconds, he's going to try to kill my son. Uh-oh, here comes the claws.
He bit my face.
Snicked. He bit your face?
Yeah.
He's going to do it again. Here he comes. Here he comes. I don't look down on others. I just try to put you in the ivory tower. What? What? Withheld, I'm going to say, says thanks, Mike and Hikaru. Hikaru. Does Nasser Ravani feel 11? Nasser. Okay, never mind. Echo chambers suck. Absolutely. Check out old Kent Hovine's old videos. Old Kent Hovine's old videos. Are you saying he's old? That's me. He's a heretic now. Is he really? I haven't checked out any of his stuff lately. Nudist guy says, never get into the mindset that you never listen to any opinion that contradicts your own. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Even though I was saying about the whole Greek Jesus thing, I'm like, I only know that's a waste of time, because unless they've discovered some brand new trove of information, of antiquity, which I sincerely doubt, every ancient document already states the facts that contradict that.
What's that?
No, this is the distracting part. There's a kitty.
You're just getting distracted.
I am getting distracted. And it's hot in here, isn't it? I gotta take my socks off.
Don't you always want it to be hot?
No, I'm not gonna draw. I like it warm in here, but I'm
But like they've proven that I listen to others and be friends.
That sounded like terror to me. All right, I'm going to scroll back up and see if you guys had any comments on the previous. Oh my gosh, why is this? It's like locked. Let me try my other
Look,
computer.
Daddy.
Oh! Oh, here we go. I know. Can you throw that away? I don't want somebody to get hurt with it.
I didn't do it.
Withheld says, so this stream is about Darwinism. I once heard from Micah Curtis that evolution isn't against God. Some say that we should interpret Genesis the same as the book of Revelation.
Darwin is dead.
Darwin is dead. Yeah, there's no question about Darwin being dead.
Controversial about the title.
Is it controversial? What?
There's nothing controversial about the title.
There shouldn't be. Where are you reading something? Oh, you're just making a statement. Okay, going back through my personal entree into creationism, I was convinced first that the Bible was extra-human in origin, right? Aww. So I was first convinced of that. But I was raised agnostic, so I was also raised an evolutionist, and obviously all of education and media tries to, pump you full of evolution every moment of every day. If you're unaware of it, if you're unaware of how mired your thinking is in evolution, and you're an evolutionist, take the time to note, like for a day, how many times that concept is sort of shoehorned into your day, right? Whether it's watching TV or people talking or whatever. If you're, how like when you're thinking of a word, you're thinking of Volkswagens, and then suddenly you notice there's Volkswagens everywhere, right? Be conscious of how much evolution is routinely drilled into your thought process, right? Just through everyday interactions, because it is an assumption of truth, right? I mean, obviously, if you're sitting at home watching, I don't know, even if you're watching anime, it'll still be drilled. Dude, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So that was my. Can you guys just go out of the room while I'm doing this? Is that possible? It is a constant. No, you're walking around and you're doing all this crap right behind me.
Well, you're making it a bigger deal. It's much quieter.
I'm gonna lock you guys out next time I do cross examinations. I'm gonna lock the door. You guys can go sit outside. So yeah, so you don't. I mean, ultimately, it is brainwashing. You're brainwashed into, a fish doesn't know it's wet territory. You're so inculcated with this concept that you think it is just a natural part of life, right? So that's how I was raised. That's how I believe. That's how, just like most atheists and agnostics believe. It wasn't until, and because of that, when I read the Bible, I fell into the day-age theory concept. I accepted the day-age theory, which is that, the days in Genesis are ages, right? They're, your first age is the creation of energy and matter. God said, let there be light, let there be the earth. Well, not let there be, right? Energy, matter, and then water, land, and then fish. There's a progression of the days that fit a sort of evolutionary, no.
I can't find a
Well,
network.
Oh my gosh!
Please connect
Shut
and try.
up!
Model.
Paradigm. The word was paradigm.
Paradigm.
And so that's what I accepted. So, okay, the Bible explains evolution. It's got these ages and these theories. So millions of years, and billions of years in the galaxy, and all of that stuff. So literally, I didn't have a dog in the fight because I was like, I'm already a Christian. This has nothing to do with my faith in Christ as my Savior. So then I started getting introduced to something I'd never ever seen before in my entire life, my 2+ decades on Earth, that there's evidence that contradicts the theory of evolution.
Gasp.
What? But because I wasn't in the mindset of the dogmatic evolutionist that will look at that evidence and find excuses for why that evidence exists, right? I remember I remember having this conversation with Ethan years and years ago, and it was about the Marco Polo thing, right? And I gave him the description from Marco Polo of the dragon, and we read through. I'm like, tell me. I'm like, I'm going to give you this description that this guy wrote down. Tell me what animal this is. 30 feet long, 8 feet wide around the body, short forelimbs with 3 claws on each, a mouth wide enough to swallow a man whole, big glaring eyes, like I said, 30 feet, big tail, all that stuff. I gave him the verbatim description from Marco Polo, and I said, what creature is that I just described? And without blinking, he said, oh, that's a T-Rex, which was wrong because T-Rex only have 2 claws, and they're bigger than 30 feet. And Allosaurus is 30 feet, 3 claws. And then he asked, can you stop interrupting me, please, Elijah? Or I'm going to ask you to leave the room. You guys can't even hear it. He's like saying things behind me. And as soon I'm like, do you want to know who wrote that? And he's like, sure. And I said, Marco Polo, 12th century. And he's like, oh, well, it's clearly an alligator. So he was looking to excuse the evidence before his eyes because he was already in a dogmatic mindset about his belief in evolution. Now, if you have an open mind and you're able to divorce the dogmatic from the evidence, you know, I went through the proposed evidence against evolution, and I found evolution wanting. Just like all of these scientists, these 1,000 scientists, PhDs and MDs and professors and, you know, microbiologists, they found Darwinism wanting. And they're not stupid. They're not uneducated, you know, country folk who just believe in the Bible, right? These are scientists who look at the evidence, and somehow or another they've broken free of that dogmatic belief in Darwinism, and they see that Darwinism has been weighed, it has been measured, and it has been found wanting. So that's why I became a creationist. Long story short. Yes, cross-examinations is late today. Come out for 8 Battle Angel Alita. Does that come out this weekend?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think it already came out, actually.
No way. It's not out already, is it? Okay, that's distracting. Indie Dave Comics says $5. Speaking of dinos, back Samurai and Dinosaurs tonight, and enter to win one of 2 signed EVS books from my collection. Yay!
You just got a subscriber for Super Chat.
I just read it.
I know, I heard it because my OBS is plugged in.
John Malin, Peter Samedi might have just been swatted on his live stream. Shut up. Are you serious? Did you seriously just fart?
Oh, it stinks.
Dude, what the heck? I'm in the middle of a stream. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
This is my life. This is my life. Greetings, George. Fun fact, Felix Lazarus. The flat Earth theory was created by followers of Darwin and was used to false flag the Catholic Church after refuting Darwin and his Origin of Species book. All right. Komodo dragons are 6 feet long, not 30 feet. Yeah. Also, they don't have 2 short front legs, right? All their legs are the same length. Komodo dragon. Nope, sorry. Dang it, why does this thing keep locking up? All right, I'm going to try to open this up over here, because this is really, really annoying. All right, we are we really only at 36 minutes? Wow. 36 minutes. All right, popping this out. Have I ever researched epigenetics? I don't think that I have. Gosh, now I really want to just go see what's going on with Peter Sameti's stream. Is that for real? Who said that? Malin? Alita had a 7 p.m. showing tonight. Don't know. It went down. Bible is not absolute history. I'm not going to read the rest of that. You know that Komodo dragons used to be super populous in Southeast Asia, right? Yeah. Do you know of a Komodo dragon that had jaws wide enough to swallow a man? Because that would be news to the scientific community, I believe. Book of Job, chapter 40. Oh, is that the Behemoth and the Leviathan chapter? I think. Not a real swat. Do you mean the giant boned? Someone swatted Peter Sameti. That Missler guy does not good. What? Not good. Do you believe in the rapture? Do I believe in the rapture? I do, but I just don't know. I've decided against holding an absolute position in the when and the where of it. Like pre-trib, post-trib, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was I just think there's too many people. I'm leaning sort of towards post-trib, but I think I would need to do a lot more research into it. There are people who spent so many years studying it who can't seem to agree. But yeah, that does remind me. I did want to get back into that a little bit. So. What is going on? Why can't I get to the top of this? Holy heck. All right, let me try refreshing this. Oh my gosh. Why is my event not showing in my manager, my video manager? Irritating. I'm irritated on several levels, and now I keep thinking about Peter Sameti. All right. Scotty Richard Studio says Darwinism does not account for catastrophes and cataclysms when estimating dates for things. No, It doesn't. And again, that's trying to find reasons why a failing theory can still work. Right? They're like, they looked at the timeline and they came to the conclusion there's no way on Earth that this could happen, given the estimated timeline of the planet. And so they started coming up with theories on how they could shoehorn it into reality. And punctuated equilibrium was one of those theories. And then seeding, because obviously you can't get, and I hate it when evolutionists try to make this argument about how abiogenesis and evolution, they aren't related. It's like saying a seed and a tree aren't related. You can't have the tree without the seed. You can't have evolution without abiogenesis. Abiogenesis, for those who don't know, is life evolving from non-life. There is no way. There's not enough time in the assumed lifespan of the entire universe for abiogenesis to have occurred via means of random, meaningless chance, right? Now, if you want to be a theistic evolution and believe that God made all this stuff happen, and therefore he could push water uphill, right? Because that's what you're doing. You're taking random, meaningless disorder, and you're forming out of it the complexities of the universe, right? The physical world doesn't work that way. The physical world tends toward disorder. Second law of thermodynamics. It's called entropy, right? Eventually, things fall apart. You've seen that in your own life, right? Your life falls apart. You have to put energy and intelligence into creating order. Without energy and intelligence, there is no order, right? You may have, it's so annoying. I'm going to just turn my ringer off completely. Mute. All right. Now my brain has been distracted. Order. Random. I was having this discussion on Twitter the other day, and someone was just trying to tell me, because there's this famous Stanley Miller, Stanley Miller, my namesake, experiment like in the 50s, where he created a non-reproducible amino acid. And then I was just going back and forth with this guy, and he's trying to say that, well, we've gotten to nucleotides. I think he was saying nucleotides at this point. But man, I was trying to read the article. Even if you got to that, even if you could get to the point where you have, again, a structure that is used as a building block of ribonucleic acid, right? RNA, and thus DNA, and then DNA. You're talking about a brick, right? You're talking about a brick. If you can get somehow these separate molecules to stick together through all of this forced, and granted, this was purposeful, intelligent design, creating this what I'm going to call a brick, this nucleotide that was necessary for the construction of RNA. All of this time, all of this effort, literally decades of study, decades of experimentation since the 50s. We are in 2019. 70 years of man's best and brightest scientists trying to create through intelligent design, and they've gotten to a brick. They're trying to build a cathedral, right? They're trying to build a cathedral. They're trying to build the space shuttle, right? With intricacies and information. One strand of DNA holds within it more information than the entire Library of Congress. It's a microscopic, every single cell in your body, every single microscopic cell holds that much information. And they're saying, oh, no, this came true because look, through all of this intelligent design, through the minds of our best and brightest human beings, we've created a single nucleotide, which is essentially just a grouping of different chemicals. Getting from there to a living cell, the single simplest basic form of life, is an impossible task, right? Cellular structure is irreducibly complex. You may have heard that term before. It's like a mousetrap. If you have a mousetrap and you take the spring off, it's no longer a mousetrap. It's just junk. If you have a mousetrap and you take the piece of wood off, it's just some pieces of metal. If you have a mousetrap and you take the trigger off, every single thing on a mousetrap is required for that mousetrap to be a mousetrap. Well, the same is applicable to cellular structure. You can't remove any part of a cell and that cell still works. So, and you can't get from that. And by the way, a cell is not simple. A cell is not simple. Every single cell is as complicated as like a car factory, right? With robots and what do you call those things? Whatever. They're extremely complex. And yet, they want to say that because they've come up with a nucleotide, somehow this proves that they could get from there to the cell. It's not possible. It's literally not possible. Again, if you want to say you're a theistic evolutionist and you want to say that God took that and that was the process, he was like, you know, he was like a little scientist putting the molecules together and then putting the, you know, creating all the different parts required to put into the single cell. But why would he do that? Why would he? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Was he seriously swatted? Yes, Mike, it is impossible. Yes, I know. Exact change. Evolution and creationism are not mutually exclusive. I don't understand why people view them like that. Again, I just don't see the evidence for evolution. Even having been brought up in it, I think the evidence against evolution just holds more water than the evidence for it. Have an open mind, look at both sides of the argument, come to your own conclusion. Again, this is not an issue of salvation, so I'm not telling you you're not saved if you don't believe, if you still believe in evolution. I just no longer do. I just don't think it holds water. Thomas Fitzpatrick argues the opposite. He says, I'm pretty sure evolution and creationism are mutually exclusive. Well, I think he's probably saying he believes in a theistic evolution model, which in a weird sense is creationism, because you're saying God created it, but he created it through evolution. I just don't buy that. God is the computer programmer, not the computer. That's a good way to say it. Said he had 2 guns pointed at him on a live stream. That's no bueno. Death Bell, Mike, you have to understand, no matter how impossible, this still sounds more. Where did it go? I'm really getting irritated by this computer. This still sounds more possible to someone who doesn't want God to be the... this computer! What the heck? To be real than creation. Unlike Mulder, they don't want to believe. Yeah, and that's the thing. You have to be dogmatically anti-creation. You have to be dogmatically evolutionist in order to maintain an atheistic belief system. I mean, if you're honestly thinking about it. I mean, I know a lot of atheists that don't. They just don't bother thinking about it. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to believe, and they don't really feel it's necessary to defend that, right? Although I know some who are incapable of defending it, and they're just like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. Scotty Richard says, I think C.S. Lewis was a theistic evolutionist. I don't know. I didn't read that. God's plan makes no sense to us because we are human. His plan is unknowable and unfathomable. Yeah, at least from this side. From the other side of history, you can see God's plans as they have unfolded. I have to close. This is just driving me bananas. For some reason, my laptop is just like the chat is like jumping up and jumping down. It's like I try to read something and it like just disappears from my line of sight. So actually, I'm just I'm gonna close Chrome altogether. Close it. If it will close. And I'm gonna pop this chat out and I'm gonna read it over here. Trying to make life easier for me. Perkindo says, I don't argue about or even discuss it really. I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I'm just here to live my life as best I can following the scriptures. Well, you know, Paul says to be ready to provide every man an answer for the faith that lies within you. And sometimes that means defending your beliefs about origins. But do as you will. I'm not judging. John Penn, the problem with Darwin is that he has been completely disproven. It's his students' theories that are the current science. So by your logic, use God to explain molecular biology. By your logic, use God to explain molecular biology. Our current science. I'm not quite sure I understand the question. John Penn. The problem with Darwin is he has been completely disproven. It's his students' theories that are the current science. So by your logic, use God to explain molecular biology. Huh? I don't understand it either. Could you reword that, John? But God's plan is God's plan is good. Yes. There are many questions in life, but answers aren't always needed. No, and that's what faith is. Faith is being able to go through temporary crap of life, the pain, the trials, the tribulations of life, and believe that, you know, when the scripture says all things happen for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose. That means even if you're I mean, look at Christ was crucified. How much worse can it get for anybody than to be crucified? But it was for the good of all of us, right? So if Christ was crucified, if Job was tortured, if all of the saints, if all of the apostles, save John, were martyred, I don't know, you going to complain because you can't pay your rent this month? Really? You know, we're going to have trials, we're going to have tribulations. That trials build faith, because you do come through it on the other side, and you come through it with lessons, and you come through it with testimonies that can help build the kingdom, help comfort and bring understanding to other people. We're not here to just sit on a raft by ourselves and get through life. We're part of a body of Christ. We're part of a body of believers, and we're trying. Our purpose is to uphold, you know, uplift one another and to spread the good news and to live life in accordance with God's will, not our own. Brendan Pitts, Peter Smetty was just swatted live on stream. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me with this story. And I kind of have to go. Alterna Comics 3 days ago, 4 months ago. I don't see anything on Alterna from just right now. Did they jump on and delete the stream? Videos? Yeah, his last videos from 3 days ago. Did those who swatted him jump in and shut him down? Or what? What are you? Oh, it might be processing. That's a good point. Personal Twitter account. Who is this? Peter Smetty. He's a publisher of Alterna Comics. He's reported on Twitter. All right, all right, all right. Let me go. Let me see here. Got about 4 minutes left. Let me jump on Twitter. Twitter Smitty. I just had 2 guns pointed at me tonight because someone made a call to the police and gave them my address along with a falsified report. I'm shook up, but everything is okay now. I'm going to talk to the police tomorrow and see if I can find out more. Oh, wait. This should be it. This video is unavailable. Apparently the video he was live streaming is no longer there. He says, I was going to go back on and continue, but we're a bit of a mess over here. I'll be back on later when things have calmed down. So I guess that's all the information we're going to get.
He hates comics.
Once again, guys, before we do leave, the link is in the description and at the top of my Twitter page to help build the orphanage for those poor kids who just, you know what? They need 10,000 bucks. They've got about half their goal now, or 10,000 pounds. So I guess about $16,000. They have about half their goal now. And the link is in the description. The link is on my Twitter feed. So if you could help them out, I would be grateful. You would be helping. Oh, somebody gave it 100 pounds anonymously 40 minutes ago. Thank you, Anonymous. So yes, yes, yes. Thank you, one and all. Let's go back to cross-examinations. Swatted. Someone swatted him? I guess so. That's no good. Sweetcast has a video on it. Has a video on the Peter Smetty. All right, well, got a couple more minutes here. Let's see if we have any other good questions that aren't related to Peter getting swatted, because I can't do a whole video on that. I'm sorry to hear it. I think people who would do that are the, well, let's just say they need our prayers because there's something wrong with their heads, man. It has nothing to do with creation of life. It has everything to do with Darwin's theory. So if people want to use creationism and say Darwin is wrong, then they need... Oh, thank you, Withheld Rather Not Say. He says, I'll ask my mom to help out the kids. I wouldn't be much, but I'll see if I can help. To justify the stuff based on Darwin's theory. It says, so John Penn and Liam Gray are just arguing. Liam says, it's also noteworthy, Darwin himself said he was wrong on his deathbed and was ashamed of what his work had created. I'm not sure about that. I think that might be an apocryphal story. So I can't say whether or not that is true. What I can say is Darwin's theory was a big help to a guy in Germany a few decades later. Big fan of Darwin. guy with the Charlie Chaplin mustache who thought that there were lower evolved people who needed to be eliminated to make the human race better.
Was it Charlie Chaplin?
Deathbed confessions and conversions are idiotically bad form. Yeah, well. Fear of death, right? UK doesn't have a constitution, let alone a Bill of Rights. Anyways, I think that is where we're at. Let's see. We are at, yep, we're over an hour. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Once again, sorry for all the interruptions. Maybe I'll actually try to get up early enough that the kids won't be up tomorrow and do this then. Maybe doing another show tonight, maybe on Ethan's stream. I am not entirely sure. I think he's got council tonight, high council. But if not, then hopefully we can pump up some Meg, themegcomic.com. Although I think that link is having some issues for some reason. But go check it out. Thanks for being here. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section below, and I will address them on tomorrow's show. Love you all. Good night, and God bless.